Alright, so this video is how I made $1,500 in 15 minutes, and you can do the exact same trades, probably even do better, and you can go bigger, and there's actually even a third trade with this exact pattern that I missed. So let's go over, why this was so easy and, why this really defines what I teach. Here is HMNY. Here is a chart, a multi-day chart. This is a supernova. This is exactly what I teach. I don't trade the stock when it's, uptrending or downtrending. I trade it when there's a lot of volume and when it has gone parabolic, exponential, supernova, whatever you want to call it. Because this is all BS. When it goes from 1 to 5, I'm sorry I forgot to put this on the watch list last night. There's just too many stocks in play right now. I'm so overwhelmed. But when a stock goes up like this, come on. Is this really not on your watch list? This is the biggest percent gainer in the stock market over the past few days. It's gone from 1.5 to 5, so you have a triple, more than a triple. And, that's not to say it has to crash right away, but when there are signs of crashing, that is when you strike. And today, pre-market, I even said this, I gave chat room commentary pre-market, and I said, HMNY potential short because it was downtrending pre-market, and the question was, could this be a first down day? First down day is really when you want to short. I'm kind of thankful that yesterday I was donating $10,000 to the Lord's Place, which is an awesome charity that helps people get back on their feet in West Palm Beach. I missed out on all of these stocks and their kind of choppiness, and that's why it's really kind of good to get away from the computer sometimes, because there was no play on this yesterday. It was up solidly. Yes, it downtrended, but then it bounced. It finished up huge on the day no matter what. Today was a different story. It was already downtrending pre-market, and right when the market opened, the question was, could it really crack? Like here is down 5% on the day. Okay, maybe. So I put in a short right near the market open to short. I wanted to short 3,000 shares. The problem with this, why some people did not get executed or why a lot of people are frustrated, it's under the SSR, which is a short sale restriction. When stocks are down too much, the exchanges try and protect these companies so that short sellers can't just bet against them and short them into the ground. This company is up 200% in the past few days, so it doesn't really need help staying up, but those are the regulations. People hate short sellers mainly because they don't understand it. Anyways, I shorted 1,353 shares out of my 3,000 shares that I wanted. Even 3,000 shares, it would have just been a $12,000 investment, but 1,300 shares, so roughly a $5,000 investment at 440, got a pretty good price right on the one uptick, and then it came down rather perfectly. And once it took out $4 a share here, you can see the volume spiked up big. That's because that's where stop losses are. Those people who bought the stock on the way up and they're trying to protect themselves if it comes down, they put stop losses in there. So when you're shorting a stock, you want to short the first down day, possibly first down day. If it's under the SSR, which a lot of these stocks are, then you have to be a little early because it's tougher to get execution, so you have to risk a little more. Meaning that if it's not the first down day, you short anyways, just because if it is, you can't wait until it's absolutely perfect because then you won't get executed. And what I mean by the SSR, for those of you who haven't seen it on level 2, well, I guess there's nobody shorting right now, but this is HMNY at 381 by 390. If I was trying to short this at, let's say, $3.80 a share, and I just normally would put in, 1,000 shares short, limit 380. My order to short sell 1,000 shares wouldn't just get executed at 381 and 380, no matter that those are buy orders. My short sell order would show up on the ask right here, and I would bring it down to 382 because you would need an uptick to get executed on your order, and that's very frustrating. So that's why I shorted right near the open, risking it that I was wrong. It could have spiked to 450, 460, 470. But this late in the pattern, I feel pretty confident that it's going to have a first red down day, and today seems like a day like any other. That's pretty good. So I ended up making 500 bucks just covering, and I didn't even have to cover very quickly, but I like making, 10% on my money and nearly 50 cents a share. This is near best case scenario for me. As you know, I have patience problems, but if you can make 50 cents a share on a $4 stock, you take it. And this was, within 10 minutes. And even now, I didn't have to cover. It's at 390, and it's probably going to go to the support right here back in the low threes. So this was a way to make a quick 500 bucks. Short selling a first down day into the SSR. And you know that it's going to take out $4 a share. It's going to have a lot of sellers. So that was my goal from the get-go. Same exact strategy with EYES. EYES has been up the past few days. Not up as much, but this is a terrible chart ever since its IPO. So there are a lot of bitter bag holders who are long this stock, and they're just looking to get out into any spike. The past 2 days have offered people that exact spike to get out of. And, when it goes up for 2 days in a row, that opens the door to making it a potential short. And again, you're never sure if it's going to drop today. I wanted to go up a third day, 9 to 14. Okay, it's up a little bit, but it's not a true supernova. The news why it was up wasn't that good, frankly. That's why, it's tough for this thing to really double or triple. HMNY was up because a BS newsletter slash promoter was pumping it up with an $8 price target, and then he just stopped today. So you're looking for stocks that have like really kind of not great reasons to be up so much. And anyways, it was fading pre-market, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should just short it here at 13 because it could be a fake out. We got a nice morning spike attempt. It was at 13-ish, and I was thinking about shorting it here, but I was like, you know what? It's not cracking 13, and it's not up as much as HMNY. So let's see, maybe it can spike. So it did spike, and if I was all-knowing, I would have shorted at 13.50, but I'm not all-knowing. What I did see was that this morning spike failed, and it failed to go green on the day. So I shorted right in here on 13.20 on that failure, because now this is a very nice morning pattern where it's a first down day probably, but it tries to come back, and some shorts get freaked out. When it fails to come back, whatever kind of a short you are, whether you were just freaked out or whether you have no position and you're thinking about shorting it, you should really get in on this right here, on this failure to bounce. Because at 13.20, this is such a good entry because, yes, it's mid-range between the day low of 12.95 and 13.50, but when this morning spike fails, that opens the door to it taking out the day low. And there's no SSR on this one. So this one can drop very quickly, and shorts can pound it into the pavement. So I shorted at 13.20, and it went straight down. In the alert, I actually said once it takes out the 12.90 lows, this should hit the mid to low 12s today. That's my goal. And I was actually dead on right, all within 10 minutes. 15 minutes actually, from 13:20 at 9:40 a.m. and then 9:55. So 15 minutes again, and it's fading again back down to the 12:30s. I probably should have reshorted in here in the 12:90s, but I have a live trading challenge webinar to get to, and I'm just catching up on overnight emails. I'm so far behind. More important than trading this over and over again, I like showing you that you can make $1,500 in 15 minutes. I only shorted 2,000 shares, so I bet roughly 26,000. So overall, I'm making $1,500, and I'm betting roughly 30,000 overall. I know 30,000 is a lot to some of you, and to some of you it's nothing. But you don't necessarily need to bet 30,000. If you bet 3,000 using these exact same patterns, and you make 150 bucks on the day, it's still not bad. I know it's nothing huge. I know it sounds like nothing. But you can do this again and again and again, shorting first red down days on stocks that are up a ton on kind of marginal news. The third play, I totally missed, BIOC. This one is the most liquid of all of these, and I probably should have shorted. This one is up from the ones to the fours, so this is a nice triple. Same exact pattern as HMNY, just much more liquid. You know, you had a classic possible first down day here at 415. Yesterday it closed at, what, 475? Yeah, 475-ish. So pre-market it's trading at 450, 450, and then pre-market today is trading in the 420s. You're still not sure. You're still not sure. You're still not sure. When the market opens, it spikes a little, and then you have that same failed spike that we saw on EYES, that failure to go green on the day, and that's what opens the door to all this. And I thought about shorting it. I really did. You know, once it took out the day low right here at 414, 413. And I was just so busy with all my other stuff. In hindsight, yeah, I should have shorted. Once it took out the morning low of 414, then it could take out 4, and then you can see, again, the huge volume spike, because once it takes out 4, this is where stop losses go out. It tries to bounce, it fails. You know, so shorting it at 410 and you cover either at 390 to play it safe and you make, you know, 20 cents a share, or you risk it a little more and you know, I wouldn't be short here at 360 because this is probably just too much panic all at once, but this could easily keep going. So you make 20 cents, 30 cents, or even 60 cents a share. Same exact pattern. Shorting first down day on a stock that's up a ton in the past few days. You know, really got to give thanks to me not being there yesterday, or else I would have been tempted to short and I probably would have screwed it up. But when these stocks turn red like this, you can really get aggressive shorting them, especially if they're shares to short. Interactive Brokers had shares to short. E-Trade had shares to short. SureTrader had shares to short. And my high net worth broker had shares to short. So every single broker that I use had shares to short of all of these. You just have to be prepared. And I know some of you guys, some people are complaining about my alerts because the price has changed by the time you get the alert a few minutes later. This is why I don't want you following alerts. I always say this, do not follow my alerts. I want you to prepare. My alerts, you know, I have to type them up, my explanation, because my alerts are to help you understand that these patterns work again and again and again. Unlike other chat rooms and newsletters, I have a massive DVD and video lesson content library because I'm trading the same patterns. The alerts are not meant to be followed. They're not meant to be like, oh my God, this is such a great stock in this second, but not 3 seconds later. It's to reinforce the patterns. It's to reinforce the rules and to show you example after example after example of these, you know, patterns that have made me rich. Whether I make $1,500 today, or if I was, you know, not in such a rush trying to get all this stuff done and teach, you know, 15,000 in a morning. I've had those. Sometimes I've even made 150,000 in a morning. I can run the gamut, but my trading profits are irrelevant. This is the beautiful thing about my teaching. You can do this too if you are prepared, if you have the right brokers. You know, I don't know why some of you are just totally ignoring my brokers for 2015. The brokers that I picked because they have shares to short of exactly these kinds of setups. And these kinds of setups are very high odds setups. So do a Google search, look at my website, look at timothysykes.com, and you can see the brokers that I use, and I've already mentioned them here. Get an account with those brokers. E-Trade is my new favorite broker because they have the most shares to short of these stocks lately. You know, I don't know how to be any more clear, but congrats to some of you who banked. I do have to recognize, let's see, let me make these bigger. I just copy and pasted. I have all these Word documents. I'm working on my Spikeability DVD. But here's one from Telly B, and this was Telly B, made 40 cents a share on eyes. Perfect. And White Knight Andy made $100 on a $600 position. I know that sounds like nothing, but you know that's a good start. And if you bet 600, you can make 100. If you bet 6,000, you can make 1,000. If you bet 60,000, that might be tough to take such a big position on an illiquid stock like HMNY. But you could have taken a $60,000 position on BIOC, and it's the exact same chart pattern. So learn these patterns. Successfully shorting the first down day. on supernovas, especially into morning panics. Thank you. I'm going to go give a trading challenge webinar now.